So we're able to get our clients, our AI agency clients, to pay us $3,000 every single month for our AI services. Now, I'm sure you're online, you're looking at a bunch of people, and everybody's telling you to do different things, right? They're telling you to use N8N, they're telling you to use Claude, they're telling you to use all these different services. And the thing is, all these things are all fluff, right? Nobody cares about all these different services. At its core, every business is the same. And I'm going to show you exactly how you could use AI systems as a tool to create more business for your agency clients. So let's hop into my Miro right now. So like I said, most people think that NAN matters, that Claude matters, that all these systems matter. Nobody cares, right? At the end of the day, if you want to build an agency, and even an AI agency for that matter, you need to understand the three things that every business needs. The first thing that business needs are leads, right? You need leads, which are people who are interested in your product. The second thing that you need are appointments, which are people who are actually going to inquire and meet with you for your product. Then after that, you're going to need sales, which is people paying money for your product, right? That's every single business on the planet, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's marketing agencies, whether it's Lamborghini, they all have leads, people interested in their product, appointments, and sales, right? And it's your job to create more of these in someone else's business. That is the goal of an agency, right? That's literally what an agency does. You help a company make more money and get more clients. That's all you need to do, right? Now, there are totally bunch of different ways to do that, right? You can use organic content, which means actually sending or creating shorts or longs for clients. You can run ads for clients. You can do copywriting for clients. There's so many different things that you can do to basically get more results for your clients using either AI or traditional systems. So I'm going to show you exactly what we use in our exact process on how we find clients, actually get them results, and keep them forever with our AI systems in the back end, right? So this is exactly what we do. So how we do it is we run an AI ads agency, right? An AI ads agency. What is that, right? It's an agency that runs ads for local businesses, and we also help them get better results using some AI tools in the back end. So for example, this is exactly what we do. So let's say we have a client who's a chiropractor, right? He's a chiropractor. So we have a chiropractor client. What we need, or what we do, is get him more chiropractic patients. So how we do that is, step one is we run ads for him. Now, we run ads on either Facebook or Instagram, but we run basically online ads that show his product. Then we generate leads for him, right? We generate leads from those ads. Then from those leads, we actually set appointments for them. Then after we set appointments, we turn those appointments into actual sales. That's exactly what we do. And that's exactly how they pay us $3,000 every single month. So it's very simple to do. Now, the first step before anything is actually choosing a niche and getting a client that actually works well. So let's start about choosing a niche, which is step one, which is choose a niche. Also, don't mind my terrible handwriting, right? My handwriting is terrible. It's really hard to draw with this mouse here, but whatever. So choose a niche, right? So the first thing you do is choose a niche. So the thing is, you must choose a niche that has money. A lot of people get into this system with AI agencies or SMMAs in general, and they choose niches that are broke, like restaurants. You should never in your life choose a restaurant. The thing is, you want to choose a niche that is high ticket. What high ticket means is that specific niche, each one of their product sales is at least $1,000. So for example, real estate, a house is way more than $1,000. It's like $400,000 for a house, right? So the real estate agent makes a lot of money from the sale. So real estate agents is a good niche, right? Real estate agents. You could also do HVAC or home services. Like one AC or one plumbing job can be up to $1,000, even $10,000. You can work with roofers, which is very good as well. You can also work with, let's just say, landscapers. That's very good as well. You can work with lawyers. So there's tons of different people you can work with. But at its core, you just want to make sure that who you work with makes at least $1,000 per customer that they sell, right? So that's how you choose a niche. Step two is actually getting them to actually get on the call with you, doing outreach, right? So actually getting these clients interested in your product, because the biggest issue that you have with your agency is no one knows you exist, right? At its core, marketing solves all problems. And if you're a marketing agency, you need to know how to market your own agency, right? So you can help others. It's just common sense. So right now, for the second is outreach. And this is how you do outreach. There are 4 ways to do outreach and get people interested in your product. You can do cold outreach. You can do warm outreach. You can do content, and you could also do ads, right? Those are the 4 ways you can do it. Now, I'm going to break down every single one of these guys. So cold outreach is basically people who don't know you exist. So that could be either cold calling, right? That could be cold email. That could be cold SMS, which is a system that really works very well for us. Or it could just be going door to door, right? Or even going to people in person. So all of these are great ways to start getting more clients. And the best part about cold outreach is it's very cheap, but the problem is it does take a lot of pain, right? So if you start cold calling people, you might get cursed out. If you do cold email, you might curse. It just is what it is. But basically, it's probably the cheapest way to get your first couple of clients because it's not that much to send a call, right? It's not that much to call somebody, not that much to send a couple texts if you have the right systems. If you need the right systems, hop on a call with me below, click on my link, and we can show you our systems and hop on a call, see if we're a good fit. But basically, so that's how you can do it with cold outreach. You could also do warm outreach, which is basically reaching out to people who you already know and they like and they trust you. So for example, friends, you go to friends, family, right? People who just know you are in the actual business space. That's exactly what you want to do, right? That's exactly how it should set up. The next step is content, right? So content is just creating like this, like creating YouTube videos, creating Instagram videos, creating content that gives people value and then turning that value into leads. That's a great way to do it as well. Now, content, you have to know exactly how to do it correctly because if you don't provide value, then it doesn't really matter, right? So that's content is another one. Then, of course, the holy grail and what I recommend everyone start off with if they can is ads, because if you run ads for your own agency, it teaches you a lot about marketing. And of course, if you run ads for your own agency, you could hop on a call with somebody and say, hey, I ran ads for my own agency, so I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to do the same thing for your business. That's what the best way to do it. And the best part about ads is you get to separate the amount of effort you put in for the amount of results you get because it's just spending money for guaranteed traffic. You can guarantee that at least 1,000 people will see your video if you spend about $50 or something like that, right? So that's exactly what it is. So those are the 4 ways you can do outreach. Now, I highly recommend to start off with ads if you can. If you're broke, start off with cold outreach and warm outreach, right? So that's exactly what you do. Now, after you do outreach, step 3 is to actually sell them, right? So to sell them. So you have to hop on a sales call with people and actually sell them about your services. So how to sell people is very, very simple. You have to figure out the pain that they have in their business and lives and how you can solve that, right? Sales is all about solving people's pain, helping people, and giving people value for the money you provide. That's all it is at the end of the day, right? So what you need to do is you need to structure our sales calls just like this. And this is exactly how we structure our sales calls. So first, I have the discovery, right, where we figure out what the issue is with their lives, right? Then we have the pitch, where we tell them how we could possibly save their lives. Then we have the objection handling, which is basically just saying, hey, look, if someone has an objection, which is, of course, going to happen all the time, you have to handle that objection and make sure they move forward with the sale. And then after that, of course, is just collecting the sale and finishing and closing the call, right? So you have to close the call after. So a very, very simple process, but it's not easy because it takes a lot of practice, a lot of understanding, and really diving into it. And we have an entire video about sales on this channel. So if you need help with that, just click below and I'll link that as well. So that's number 3. And then number 4 is probably the hardest part, but it is service delivery, right? So service delivery, this is where we get into the nitty gritty and this is where things get exciting, right? So service delivery. So like I said, a lot of people in this space are going to think that they need to use N8N or all these complicated things. No, you just need to add AI systems into your already existing agency to make it easier to provide results. So for example, like I said, what we do is we run ads for people. And then once the ads are seen, we get leads for them. Then once the leads are seen, we actually book appointments for them. And then once we book an appointment for them, it's their job to sell, right? So literally that's how we do it. We run ads on Facebook and Instagram, right? Then these leads are lead forms that are from Facebook and Instagram, right? So that's how we do there. Then we set the appointment onto their calendar and we sell them. So this is how exactly we add AI into our systems to make sure that everybody that goes through is a qualified lead that they can actually book and sell. So what a lot of people do is when they actually get a lead onto their client's calendar, they have an appointment setter or a human go and actually call them and confirm them. Now, the thing is, with AI now, you can pretty much create an AI system that can call the leads completely by themselves and turn them into clients pretty much on autopilot, which is really cool. So instead of using humans, we use something called VAPI AI, which is an AI service that allows you to connect people and have calls that are really, really high quality. I'm going to show you exactly what a VAPI AI sounds like. It sounds just like a human, which is insane. So this is VAPI AI. I'm just going to play it here so you guys can hear how good it is.
Welcome to Vappy. I'm an assistant that you can talk to like a person. So, how's your day going?
Pretty good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing great, bro. Thanks for asking. So, what can I do for you today?
I just want to see what Vappy is all about.
I'd love to dive into what Vappy is all about, but before I do, would you mind telling me how you found out about Vappy?
Awesome. So that's basically what it is, bro. It sounds really, really good. It even has weird pauses or pauses that a normal human would do. So we add this into our system so that it calls the leads and qualifies them and puts them on the calendar, right? And we also use another system called a Pointwise that automatically texts these clients and puts them onto the calendar as well. So we use two different AI systems. We use Vappy AI and a Pointwise to basically automate our systems and completely reduce our costs and make our profit way higher just using AI. So literally AI, all it is a supplement to your agency. You shouldn't completely build everything off of AI in the beginning because AI in itself should just be supplementary, right? Now, this is exactly how we're able to scale and create and get much more leads, appointments, and sales for our clients. And that's basically the core of everything. That's basically exactly how you could set up and start charging your clients $3,000 per month. Because remind you, if you have a client and you're making them $5,000 a month, you can charge $3,000 per month, no problem, right? So I hope this video gave you guys a lot of value. Like I said, if you want to learn more about how we're scaling and growing our own agency, hop on a call with us. It's completely free, and we'll figure out exactly if we're a good fit to work together, right? But I hope this video gave you guys a lot of value, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.